blue cheese. I swear I'm addicted to blue cheese. I gotta stick to this paper like blue sleep. Bitch, I'm about my chicken like it's a two-piece. You can have your bitch back, she a groupie. She just swallow all my kids in a two-seat.
San Bravo, we're reading 70 bogeys in your sector. Please verify.
Very funny, Station. That's a big negative, over.
Yeah, might be a glitch in one of the ACS modules.
San Bravo, be advised, running diagnostics to scan for malfunction.
The skies are clear, Station. You've got yourself some phantom dots. Over.
Zulu X-Ray 6, signs in your sector of some 100 bogeys. Please advise.
Negatory, Station. Scope is clear. I don't know what to tell you. Solar interference, heavy sunspot activity today.
Sierra Delta, we may have a minor ACS fault here. Do you have anything on your scope? Sierra Delta, repeat.
I'm looking at fighter jets over I-95! How the hell did they get through?
Stand by, attempting to contact the nearest unit in that sector.
I read you. This is 1st Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment. Sergeant Foley, acting commander of Hunter 2-1. Do you copy? Over.
All stations be advised. Satellite surveillance has been disabled. SOSUS and paid pause arrays are inoperative at this time.
The lasting world peace between superpowers has been held ever since the end of World War II. Now on February 23, 2022, President Vladimir Putin and the Russian Federation broke that peace for the first time in 72 years. On Tuesday night for us Americans and early Wednesday morning for Europe, President Putin authorized the invasion of the Ukrainian mainland. The Russian Federation's active personnel spans almost 900,000 and over 25,000 armored war vehicles. And as to understand what led up to the breaking of this world peace, we need to look back at November of 2013. This is everything you need to know about the Russo-Ukrainian War. See, back in November of 2013, the Ukrainian government suspended the signing of partnership agreements with the European Union to avoid straining ties with Russia, who were not in the EU. That triggered widespread protests, which soon snowballed into a violent nationwide movement against the authorities. Then, a couple months later in April of 2014, unrest erupted in eastern Ukraine, where protesters seized government buildings demanding a referendum on autonomy and closer ties with Russia. And here we are, closer to the present. 5 days before the invasion was greenlit by Putin, an explosion occurred close to the DPR government building in Ukraine. Local armed groups in eastern Ukraine ordered the evacuation of civilians to Russia, citing the danger of a possible military offensive. And now we arrive at the apex of the new year, February 24th, 2022. On that Thursday, Putin authorized a special military operation in Donbass. He said, quote, "Our plans do not include the occupation of Ukrainian territories. We are not going to impose anything on anyone by force." That's what he said in a televised speech to the nation, noting that Russia's move is in a response to fundamental threats of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, known as NATO, which has expanded to Eastern Europe and brought its military infrastructure closer to Russian borders. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, the Russian armed forces are destroying military infrastructure, air defense facilities, military airfields, aviation of the Ukrainian armed forces, with high-precision weapons not targeting Ukrainian cities. See, that's something that I have a hard time trying to understand, because if you have been on Twitter the past 3 days or not living under a rock, you'd understand and see all across the internet a MiG Russian jet bomb a civilian airport with people just trying to flee the country because you're invading their borders, which that's why I have a hard time understanding that quote. And I was just reading off the facts before I kind of turned off the script, because I saw that video and it was hard to watch, to be quite frank, because they said in the quote, military infrastructure, air defense facilities, military airfields, aviation of the Ukrainian armed forces. They weren't using that airport as a military airfield. They were using it as a civilian airfield to leave the country.
Guys, good. Звідки вони хуяють, блядь? Звідки?
Yeah, that was the video that I saw on Twitter. And that was like, what the fuck? Really? Because you said in that quote, the Russian Defense Ministry said in that quote, military airfields. Not civilian ones, military. But of course, in this stat I'm about to read you, they didn't mark it down as such. They say the Russian Defense Ministry also said that a total of 11 airfields, 3 command posts, a Ukrainian naval base, and 18 radar stations of the S-300 and Buk M1 air defense missile systems were among the facilities destroyed. Notice that they had nothing in the report about bombing that airport with civilians in it. And as you can see the people walking outside of that airport. There was no armed military personnel that I saw in that video. I mean, sure, there could have been some there, but they're not using it to launch off jets. They're using it for airplanes to get out of the damn country. It's ridiculous. But regardless, we're going to move on because that's just one strike. No, that's 2 strikes for the Russian Federation and Vladimir Putin. But we'll move on. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that Putin has expressed his preparedness to engage in discussions with the Ukrainian counterpart with a focus on obtaining a guarantee of neutral status and non-deployment of offensive weapons in Ukraine. Putin, how fucking retarded do you have to be in order to make that claim? How dumb must you be? How much air is in that fucking brain of yours? You're invading a country and you want them to just be like, nah, bro, yeah, you're good to come in. Yeah, just come in. We'll fucking feed you. We'll give you weapons. Putin, you have to be one of the stupidest motherfuckers to ever rule a motherfucking country in the entire world, my guy, because holy shit, that is terrible. They're asking them to surrender and to remain neutral while they're bombing cities, taking Chernobyl as well. I just can't get around that. Now, see, that's strike 3, Putin. That is strike 3, and you're out. Get the fuck out of here, because holy fuck. But speaking of Ukraine, Podolak, the head of the president's office in Ukraine, said, quote, after a fierce battle, our control over the Chernobyl site has been lost, unquote. You have Russians that have Uranian control that was in Ukraine, obviously not habitable for another, 20,000 years, but so they can't really do anything about it. So they took that. Go ahead, I guess. But the main thing is that yesterday they started bombing the capital of Ukraine, Kiev.
Жесть. Самолет, ёпта.
See, now that's why, with those videos, that's why I love social media. That's what about social media that I absolutely adore. Because when there's a major conflict going on like this, no governments can lie. They can't lie to their own people. They can't lie to the world. People see what's going on around the world on their phones with a tap of their screen. They don't wait for a newspaper to come out every week like they used to, especially in World War II. People see what's going on. They record it and they post it online for everybody else to see. You cannot hide from what is going on. You see that in real time, color and motion, what really happened. Nobody can lie. Sure, it may be faked, but those videos I showed you came from actual verified sources of that actually happening. Russia is bombing the capital of Ukraine because people are pissed. And that's why I keep coming back to that quote. Russian armed forces are destroying military infrastructure, air defense facilities, military airfields, aviation of the Ukrainian armed forces with high precision weapons, not targeting Ukrainian cities. Then which one is it, Russia? Which one? Are you taking down military operations or are you targeting the populace? Which one is it? Because from what I'm seeing, especially on Twitter, I'm not in Ukraine obviously, but what I see on Twitter, you're doing both. But you said you'd only do one. You're not targeting Ukrainian cities. You just targeted the capital of Ukraine, man. And what I love to see is kind of everybody coming together and trying to help Ukraine out, obviously. But the superpowers, other superpowers, especially NATO, aren't really doing anything. They don't want to risk a full-out war with Russia. And Putin actually, well, he didn't obviously say it, but he's inferring that there will be heavy consequences if they intervene, which is why nobody has acted yet. And it kind of upsets me how, Ukrainians on Twitter are upset how, nobody from the West is trying to help out. I am with them. I totally wish we could help them out, but I kind of understand the situation where we can't risk an all-out war with Russia. China gets involved, and then it's a world war. That is what we can't have. One of my favorite moments that I saw on Twitter is the professional Counter-Strike global offense player, Simple. He's actually Ukrainian, and he knows what's going on in his home country. He actually spoke out about how there should be no war. The Ukrainian people are peaceful. Russia should be peaceful, but it's not like that. So we have to come together with no war. See, although his English isn't very good, everybody got the message. If you look at the replies under that tweet, it is fantastic. I love seeing everybody coming together. This is what should happen with worldly crisis like this. People should rally to one side, the right side, and come together and support.
So I want to say you won my dream that I didn't say to anyone. My dream is wake up in the morning in Ukraine for sure, just turn on my television and to hear that today everything good. No kills, no dies, no fucking stupid situation. It's peace in all world, my friends. And that's what I really want, because I'm doing fucking a lot bad things. I'm a good person in fucking real life, but sometimes I'm trolling so hard in fucking Twitter or CS and people don't understand me. Sometimes I'm writing shit fast with my bad English and people don't understand this. So I just want a fucking peace in the fucking world. That's all I want.
Okay, hello guys. First of all, I don't have a lot of words to say, but I want you to know that esport is out of politics, and all players from different teams, and all of you have nothing to do with government decisions. My whole career, I played with Ukrainian players, I played with Russian players, and I played with American players. And all of them great guys. And right now I stay with my friends, with my real friends. We win together and we lose together. And all of us want peace for Ukraine and for whole world. All of us scared. And all of us need to show example on this tournament for whole world. We need to stay together as a unit with our fans, with our friends, with everyone who's gonna watch this tournament. And we all need to stay humans first. So thank you everyone who came. I hope you will enjoy this tournament.
See, who can't love Simple? You just want to reach through the screen and give Simple a huge hug. Such a sweet guy. Such a great guy. Down to earth. Another thing I wanted to bring up is that the different types of interactions that Ukrainian civilians and Russian foot soldiers have with each other in person. There's another video that surfaced up on Twitter of this lady going up to a Russian soldier and saying, hey, take these sunflower seeds so when you die on our soil, the flowers will grow from your body.
Які вчення? Звідки ви? Які вчення? Ви що, росіяни?
Да.
Якого хера ви тут робите?
Ну, сейчас наш с вами разговор ни к чему не приведет.
Вы оккупанты. Вы фашисты. Вы пришли на нашу землю.
Хорошо.
Какого хера вы пришли с оружием к нам?
Кто сказал?
Возьмите семечки, положите сырые, чтобы хоть подсолнухи росли, когда вы здесь ляжете.
Сейчас наш разговор ни к чему не приведет. Давайте не будем усугублять эту ситуацию. Пожалуйста.
Как усугублять
Пожалуйста,
ситуацию?
не будем усугублять ситуацию. Наш с вами
Ребята,
разговор ни к чему не
ребята,
приведет.
положите в карманы
Ничего не
семечки.
решит наш с вами разговор.
Я поняла, положите семечки или
Хорошо.
семена цветов. Вы здесь семенами ляжете.
Сделаю.
Вы
Так,
пришли
хорошо.
на мою землю.
Хорошо, я вас выслушал.
Вы понимаете?
Я вас
Вы
выслушал.
оккупанты.
Хорошо.
Вы враги.
Да.
И вы уже с этой секунды прокляты.
Да.
Я вам отвечаю.
Все. Теперь послушайте меня.
Я вас услышала.
Не будем усугублять ситуацию, пройдите.
А куда уже усугублять? Вы пришли, блядь, непрошенные твари.
But first of all, that woman is a badass. That guy got a gun. That guy could kill her. Still went up to her and said, hey, take these seeds so when you die on our land, sunflowers will grow. Now that is fucking badass, bro. Also, another thing is that apparently there's a Ukrainian fighter jet pilot in this was in the sky yesterday. And if any of you guys know war terminology, there's a term called a ace pilot or an ace. Basically what it is that you need 6 confirmed shot down and killed pilot planes and return home safely. Now, it was trending on Twitter yesterday that a Ukrainian pilot was flying every second of the day as the Russians were invading. Now, allegedly, that Ukrainian fighter jet pilot made it home safely. We don't know who it is yet. It'll probably come out, obviously, later after the invasion's over or something happens. He made it home safely. He started trending on Twitter. He had one of the most badass names for the first ace pilot of the 21st century, the Ghost of Kiev. That's fucking badass. Apparently, he flies a MiG Ukrainian jet, and he shot down 6 Russian jets just yesterday. And that's fantastic. The day of the invasion, man was like, I'm just going to take it upon myself and, dominate the air so that my homies on the ground can get it done. That's amazing. It's a great story to tell, to keep morale high. They know that they're safe on the ground so they won't get bombed. But I love that story, even if it's real or not. But apparently, allegedly, he did go home safe. Who this pilot is, we do not know yet. Hopefully it'll come out later so we can actually tell this story, because it's a pretty sick story. Because an ace pilot, there is nothing like an ace pilot, because obviously, first, it hasn't happened for 72 years. Last time it happened in World War II. Because the last major conflict against superpowers was World War II, obviously. So that works into the global peace. So there weren't any really ace fighter pilots. But it's a great story to tell on the ground. Shows of courage, shows of hellfire, that they want to defend their home, and I can't get enough of it. But wrapping up here, I hope you guys learned something about what is actually going on out in the East right now. It's a pretty screwed up situation. I hope this can be resolved quickly with as little casualties as possible. I've heard there's already 167 Ukrainian casualties in the first day. Don't know how many Russian. But allegedly, if that Ghost of Kiev story is true, that is 6 Russian deaths. But for right now, we do not know the total number. I will try to update this video when more information comes out. But for right now, that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I love doing these videos, sadly, because, whenever I do one of these videos about a disaster, it's always something bad. I did one last summer about the al-Soleimani bombing when Trump was still in office. So 2 years, I guess. That's been a long time. But thank you guys so much. And I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you are. And I'll see you next time.